Alright guys, so we're going to see now the defense against front kick and how to avoid. Basically, we're just going to focus on avoidance. So today we're going to see one type of avoidance, and on the next class we're going to see a different type of avoidance, or maybe we can see that a little bit later too. But the idea behind this is to differentiate between me moving towards the side and me moving towards the backwards, so towards the back. In this case, let's focus first on the side. So when I go towards the side, I'm going to pump on the outside. So a couple of things. When I move towards the outside, I'm not only going to move this foot, which is what most people do, but I also want to move this foot and my body, which is the most important, because if I'm going to get kicked there, I want to be able to get out of the way. Now, important thing, you're going to still be covered until the very end, and that's when you tap. If you're used to doing this, chances are you're going to break your hand. So again, twist and focus on the twist and escaping first. Keep covered just in case, and then after that is when you can move. You can do the palm because it's easier. Keep in mind that we also have the punch 45 degrees. Obviously, you can do other stuff right after. But the idea again is to move first, and that's going to be the first thing that we're going to see. Now, the second that I want to mention with the first option that we're going to have is like, this is regardless of the height of the other person. If the other person kicks higher, now you can obviously move around and still trap, but everything starts from the same principle of getting down, and then if you, as you're trying to do, you notice that the person's kick goes higher, you can hook the leg, and even better because you can create the imbalance. So again, get used to this movement, and then to always hit from the outside. I would advise you in the beginning not even hit, just use the palm to see what's going on, okay? So just any questions, just let me know. Thank you, push. All right, so the second one, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna start building on top of the things that we had before. So same thing here, the person falls in front. That's going to be the first case scenario. Here, you check immediately. Why? Because it's going to be easier for you to check when the person is falling than if you allow the other person to come back. Now, keep in mind that that's not realistic, because a lot of the times when you move, even if you move hard, the other person might still go back, meaning if I'm the one kicking, I'm going to be kicking, I'm going to go back to the same position. Now, what can you do to kind of maximize that possibility? You're going to go 45 degrees downwards, in this case in that direction, and I'm going to make sure that I actually go and aim for 45 degrees. Notice the difference here. Now the person even rotates a little bit. Now is when you can check forward. So the footwork would be, if I'm here, 1 and 2, so that way you can, again, also protect yourself. Now, even if this fails, go, I still can have this as an answer, which is a side kick if the other person decides to go backwards, meaning go back. That's it. You can still reach with your side kick towards the hip, which is a possibility. But right now we're seeing this move and check right after. Now, keep in mind that when you do this, it has to be truly 45 degrees, and you still have to put your hand up just in case. So slow, 1 here, just in case, put your hands up and check forward. That's it. So now what can we do if the other person is kicking and coming back, meaning here and coming back? So obviously you might not have the time to do that, and it's also not advisable because now the person can hit you right away, right? Because now the person is not falling in front and rotated. The person is in front of you and still has power. So super slow, I'm gonna remain the same way, but look, this is open. Now the way that I'm gonna answer is by doing a kick. A roundhouse for me works better because it's easier from here to go right away for a roundhouse, but you can do a side kick as well here and kick a side kick towards the knee in particular. As you can see, you still remain with a lot of range, and the only thing that you should be worried about is that leg. But since that leg is still traveling, you're going to have a higher success targeting that hand, that leg, than the other person is going to have trying to hit you back, because again, that leg is still kind of like coming back. So again, the only thing, the person is going to come back, and then you can kick a side kick, or even better, move these out of the way and go for a roundhouse to the inside. You can still fall towards the front, but be mindful of what might happen later. So don't get too close towards the other person. Managing the distance is crucial here, okay? All right, so now let's actually start putting things together. First thing that we did is moving out of the way, go 45 degrees, and the person is actually moving forward. Now, options that we have, as I did before, is this, to strike right away towards the back of the head. That's one option. So again, one more time, here, and 2 towards the back of the head. Make sure that you check first. When you go here, you check so the other person doesn't get your legs should be on the back of the other person's leg, and then you enter with your forearm, or in this case, as a hammer towards the back of the head. That's one option. Second option, the person now doesn't actually fall forward. In this case, the person actually goes back as we were doing before here. Look, this is the kick that you were talking about before. What can you do next? So super slow, after you go here, kick immediately. If the person opens, check that hand and enter. You can enter with a hammer as well, or you can enter just with a regular punch, a jab, in this case, as you enter. Although that might be a little bit difficult because your jab is going to be from the side rather than frontwards. So you have to manage a little bit more the way that you execute that jab, but again, you can still execute it. One thing that I was going to say, go again, once you're here and the person goes back and you kick, make sure that that hand is truly not a threat. So what I'm going to do first is clear as I enter. So I don't want that hand anymore, right? So when you're here, you also have to be afraid of that before. So don't go right away for a punch because that can be an exchange of punches. So what you do first is here, kick, check, and enter. Now, as you can see, I'm using the hammer, but you can also use your regular punch, strike, in this case as a jab, but you have to control these first before you launch your jab, okay? So try that a couple of times. Let me know if it's a little bit complicated. Thank you. Wish. All right, so we have the same case scenario, but now I truly wanna, do something slightly different than I was doing before. So I'm actually aiming to get away, but also to cause some damage. Super slow, same beginning. Person's gonna fall back, but look, fall towards the back of, in this case, the person's gonna kick and come back here, and the person's gonna come back. I'm gonna choose this leg, and I'm gonna come back for a roundhouse. So one more time, one here, moving and kicking. Important thing, you're still gonna twist and choose to palm from the outside. That's important. Look, I'm gonna twist with this foot and step at the same time. So it's this. So I have more power. And also, I'm not so afraid of that hand anymore. The only thing that I should be afraid is that leg. But since this is still going backwards, I'm gonna take advantage of that motion to kick. So again, one more time. 1, 2, and kick back that leg. Make sure that when you kick though, you kick either straight or 45 degrees downward. Super slow, one here, look, this is 45 degrees down, or one more time, here, sideways, and you go straight towards the side. So again, one more time, here, 1, 2, and kick right away. Now, obviously you can use the shin, as I explained, it's up to you how mean you want to be. However, keep in mind that if your shins are not conditioned, you might actually hurt yourself. One little trick that I'm going to add to these, you can actually use the top of your foot and kick the back of the leg. And that is exactly what I said, the back of the leg, meaning not here anymore, that's the side, the back of the leg, this. And I'm going to show you how it looks like. Here, there, I'm separating slightly more, and I'm going to kick the back of the leg. Why? Because you can not only cause damage, but as you can see, you can move the person's leg much easier, which is again the reason why I said that I want to try something different, because that would allow me to escape much easier by moving towards the side, because that way after a kick I can just move away from the other person. Okay, so one more time, here, moving here, kick towards the back, and then I can escape in that direction. So hopefully again this is not a problem. Just let me know, guys. Thank you. Whoosh.